Satan is the world's first politician. Like, he's the first dividing force.
Yeah.
He's doing intersectional politics. I sent you to D.C. You saw that. You worked in Silicon Valley. You saw that. You worked in entertainment in Hollywood. You saw that. You get this. Please don't make this complicated. I prepped you for this. So I was given this assignment. And I read a book called Experiencing God, that God's not going to give you the big assignment until you finish on with the last one. But I can see and just visualize people listening and hearing this or watching it saying, I never got my big assignment. Mm-hmm. So how does God speak to you and Lisa? And B, what do you say to people who are saying, hey, dude, I don't have a big assignment from God?
Oh, man. You know, I think for me, the only time that I really heard really clearly from him was way, way, way early on. And he basically said, and I think this was maybe a year in or so, after we had run our test and we kind of saw that this thing had a little bit of room to run. And I remember so clearly, he said, I am going to give you a voice. What are you going to do with it?
Those are his words.
That's what I remember hearing so clearly. And I remember I told Lisa, I said, babe, we have to figure out what we care about the most. What are we going to put in this magazine? And Todd, we talk about a vast array of many, many different aspects of life. In fact, some of our readers have said, Marlon, what in the world? What is Plain Values really about? Mm-hmm. Because we talk about, grief and loss. We talk about, Joel Salatin, the granddad of the homesteading movement, as a friend, and he writes every month about homesteading and soil and just all kinds of great stuff. And there's many, many other things. We put stories of adoptions. We talk about all kinds of ministries. We talk about a lot of different stuff. And when you really boil it down, we want to encourage people, like you said early on, that living a faith-centered, simple life in 2024 is still possible. We have chickens and goats and pigs. We have a flock of little lambs right now. We do a lot of so-called farming. I am by no means a farmer. I'm just not. But I love it. And Lisa, so she started our whole animal journey because of the children, because she wanted to get some therapy animals. Pigs are fantastic for kids. And so today on our little 12 acres, we have a bunch of, hooves and feet and there's a whole flock of chickens and everything else. But the point is, there's something really, really special about going back. Everybody's talking about progress. Well, to go back to the way that the Lord designed us to garden and to farm, there's so many good parts because you're just in touch with life.
Yes, that's it. You're touching life. You're touching dirt.
Yep.
I don't know. A lot of people watching or listening to this, I'm asking you a question for real. When's the last time you put your hands in dirt? Right? When is the last time you drank water from a stream? I can remember the last time. It was last summer. Last time I drank water from a stream, and it was coming out well filtered. We could see it was going to be safe, and man, the joy of doing that. I wanted to talk about homesteading and what you just discussed, because this is a dream that a lot of people have, and it seems so unachievable. We watch a TV show called Homestead Rescue, and I love that show. I love the family. And they just seem to have it all nailed. They go into these homesteads that are suffering. They help them. And by the way, they get a lot of help. Not everyone has a construction crew following around. And I love they kind of added to the TV show, the family with some help from a construction crew of 200 people and a bunch of money from a cable network.
Yeah.
But they actually do homestead. And homesteading, to me, means that you don't necessarily need the outside world, that you are self-sustaining.
Right.
That you produce your own power, your own food. I mean, the evil of property tax being what it is, you have to pay that. But so you guys write about homesteading.
We do. Yeah, we do. It has been an amazing blessing. We live in the middle of the biggest Amish settlement on the planet. We have a valley where we are probably one of two families that are not Amish inside our little circle of maybe 10 or so neighbors. Yeah. And so as we have grown, my next door neighbor, Ivan, is a big homesteader as well. And so the two of our families have really collaborated well. and we now butcher all of our meat birds. We have butchered our hogs the last couple of years. And as we've done it, Todd, a bunch of the other neighbor families have started to say, hey, whoa. I want to learn how to do that. And they will do their own meat birds. And then we all go house to house to house and we just have a kill night. That sounds kind of funky,
if you've not killed an animal, that's what it is. It's killing an animal.
Death is so totally part of life, and that's in a crude way. Animals are here for us to eat, and you don't want to eat them alive, obviously, and so
right.
Yeah.
My daughter's a vegan. That breaks her heart to hear those things, and that's her choice she makes, and I support that. And you're not preventing the death of an animal; you're choosing how it dies.
Right.
And in the case, I assume you guys do this in a humane sense. I mean, it's right, quick,
absolutely.
And I hope it never gets fun. I hope kill night's never fun.
No, it is because of the neighborhood and the friendships and the joys of being together. And there is something special. The pandemic, oh my goodness, I mean, it taught us so much about where our food comes from and where it doesn't come from and all this and that. And to be able to know that the chicken that you're eating is on grass. Salatin wrote a book called The Marvelous Pigness of Pigs. It is absolutely the best book he's ever written. And the guts of it is really very simple. When you put a hog on concrete inside a barn and it never sees the light of day, you are stripping it of its pigness that God built into that pig. They are built and designed to go root around and tear around in the woods and run and play and have fun. They are smarter than snot. And you do the same thing with a chicken. When you have 80,000 birds in a big chicken barn, and they are literally jammed in there. They never get to, eat a bug in grass. You're stripping it of its God-given everything.
Right.
And so to be able to give that animal dignity and a chance to live the way that it was intended to live, there's a big fulfillment that comes out of that. It's a joy.
I went through a period of time where I was a vegetarian, and it was because I saw people butchering hogs in ways that should never be done. And I'm talking about torturing them, Marla. I'm talking about enjoying inflicting pain. And that's not okay with any living being, to enjoy inflicting pain. I grew up hunting. Some of my dearest friends are hunters. And still, I know this. When my friends take a life, that they go and they reflect upon, wow, you just took everything that thing ever had or ever will have. That's heavy. And I get the community thing, and I love it. I love what I'm hearing. So, but you think this is achievable for more people? You think more people could homestead?
I do. I think I don't think it's as hard as people think it is.
Really?
I don't think it is.
So what do you start with? Fruit trees, berries? Like, where do you start?
Do something.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if it's simply a tomato plant on a patio, do something. Just start. And I've heard it over and over and over. People say, they got a couple laying hens, and all of a sudden, they're pinching each other, and they get to crack open that egg, and they're like, well, this came out of our backyard.
Right.
And so it just kind of shoots them down that little wormhole, and they can't get out. And so all of a sudden, now I'm not saying that finding a piece of land is easy or inexpensive. I know that it is, but it's so worth it.